Welcome to a new episode of DC Daily. At this year's C2E2, we got to catch up with some of our favorite comic book creatives, including Batman writer James Tynion IV. He told us all about the new villain, Punchline, and her role in the upcoming Joker War. But first, we've got some big news for DC Universe subscribers. Take a look.
What's next?
I thought we were going to chill out and have fun after we took the Injustice League out.
As I become the world's most feared supervillain.
Feast your eyes on New Gotham.
Not interested.
Hey! Where did this map come from? I'm still on a folding chair.
Ah,
Oh my God, it's Beyonce!
Is this what it feels like to be Batman? Because I feel like a superhero right now.
You really know how to just kill the post-fight move.
I shall rise! I'm coming!
What is that?
It's a
Oh, a human!
Oh, now I've got smashing blue. Now I can get on with my day.
So Punchline is Joker's new number 2. That's a role that most famously was filled by Harley Quinn years and years ago when Joker was a different sort of clown in a different sort of Gotham. The Punchline is a darker character than Harley Quinn. If Harley was the angel on the Joker's shoulder, Punchline is the devil. And that is really the core dynamic that we wanted to bring in with the character right away, was just make sure that she was this dark mirror of Harley and not a character who wants Joker to be reformed, wants to see the good in the Joker. No, she's excited by the evil in the Joker, and she wants to help that evil come to fruition in the biggest, most horrifying ways. I created the character because there was a very specific need in the story for a character in the role of the chief henchman of the Joker. And when I started thinking about what sort of personalities we wanted to bring into that character, I started weaving together all of these different elements and feelings, and then just basically sent Jorge Jimenez, who had just signed on to the book, but our first script for him wasn't ready, and so I was just like, hey, want to take a crack at this character? And he knocked out what was immediately like, oh my God, this is an incredible design. This is a character who I think really has legs and could last in the DC universe. Joker as a character has always been this kind of epitome of evil, but there's always a kind of impulse when it comes to the building characters around the Joker to sort of humanize the Joker and sort of, tap into him from a more grounded perspective. But having a character who sees him as an emblem of evil, who wants him to be the baddest version of himself and thinks he stands for something. And that's the most interesting thing to me about Punchline, is Punchline thinks Joker stands for this image of chaos, and she thinks there is a message in what he's doing when he does his attacks on Gotham and all of that. But really, he doesn't. Joker is essentially a nihilist character whose really main goal is to take down Batman. I think there's always a concern when there's sort of a new hot character, whether or not, is this a character who's designed just to sort of catch your eye for a second, or is this a character with substance who has something to say, who's going to actually have a lasting role in the universe? And I promise, Punchline is meant to be a character who I want to leave in the toy box of Gotham City to be a character that lasts for years. And I'm doing the groundwork to make sure that happens.
Up next, Hector and I got to chat with the legendary Gail Simone about everything from Birds of Prey to Wonder Woman to The Flash. Check it out.
Gail, what a treat to be able to speak to you. The Birds of Prey movie made its way onto the big screen, and that was a blast for us as fans to get to see these characters, in movies, live action. But you have an iconic Birds of Prey run, so can you talk a little bit about what your impressions were?
Yeah, I was really fortunate that I was invited to a day of the shooting when they were shooting the Birds of Prey film. Those are the hardest working women I've ever seen in my life. And I knew immediately that Journey was going to be the most amazing Black Canary. Her spirit was there. And so I really was not worried at all. And then I was really fortunate I got to have a private screening with myself and my husband to see the movie so I could yell and dance and do whatever I wanted in the theater, especially when the canary cry came out. I just stood up and went, yes! It was so fantastic. And those of you who have seen the movie, I know you love it. Those of you who haven't seen it, please see it. There's nothing else like it. And it's just full of joy and visual candy. And the story is amazing too. And just all the team behind it just did put everything they had into it. And it shows on the screen.
Gail, you got to work on the Birds of Prey special that featured Harley Quinn. So talk a little bit about what was it like working with characters that are very familiar to you and then kind of adding in that new element that was sort of similar to the movie.
Well, it was really super fun. I always love working on the Birds of Prey. I like the female characters at DCU. And Harley Quinn just put in that extra element of chaos that's super fun to work with. So, when I was asked to do it, I was extremely excited. And then when I saw it, finally completed everything, it was just a really fun story.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work on the Flash 100-page giant?
Yes.
Okay, so I never knew I wanted to write the Flash until I wrote the Flash. and then I have discovered that I really love writing the Flash. And I took the train to C2E2 this year from Portland, Oregon, all the way to Chicago.
Wow.
So I believe there's going to be a Flash story that involves a train. So I'm always getting ideas like that. And I turned out the more I write the Flash, the more I love writing the Flash.
Tell us about your contribution to the incredible achievement, Wonder Woman issue number 750.
Yes.
It's such a big deal. You got to be a part of it. What was that like?
I'm so excited that we're seeing so much Wonder Woman content because, of course, growing up, it was a little more difficult to find, and she was one of the characters that I really immediately fell in love with as a young girl because she was a beautiful princess that chose her own way of life. She defied her mother, went out on her own adventures. She didn't have things accidentally happen to her. And so I was really hungry for that content, and it wasn't there. And coming to conventions and seeing, every age group dressed as Wonder Woman and be familiar with her because there's stories for all age levels now. And the film was absolutely the best superhero film, in my opinion, of all time. She helped me a lot growing up. I'm from a dysfunctional family, and seeing her work with the Justice League and her own family on Themyscira just meant a lot to me. And I love seeing how much her character means to other people from all ages and all walks of life and all around the world. And she's just really grown beyond anything that I ever thought would happen, but only imagined and hoped for.
Well, and later this year, I always love that quote, if you can see it, you can be it. And this year we saw Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey on the big screen, and now Wonder Woman is returning to the big screen. It's a really exciting year, not only to be a DC fan, but I think to be a woman who's a DC fan.
It is, and just seeing the variety of things that are out now, I think is really important and a great accomplishment because, the world is made up of all kinds of people from all walks of life and all experiences, and it's great that the comic book industry and the film industry is embracing that.
Before we go, we want to share some of our favorite DC-related jokes that y'all posted on the community section in honor of April Fool's Day. Hub City Question wrote, "What did Orion say when a woman called him the son of Darkseid? I ain't no Cali Bat girl." Arkham Assassin said, "I find it so hard to believe that so many people with powers are evil. Personally, I've never met a human I didn't like." And Yo-Yo Froyo said, "What do you call the Batman merch customer service center? The Dark Knight Returns." That's it for today. Be sure to check out Gail Simone's work, including her beloved run on Wonder Woman on DC Universe. Take care of yourselves and see you guys next time.